Hi everyone, Rene Bastarache here with the American School of Hypnosis. Today I want to answer a question sent in by George, so let me go ahead and read it. It's a three-part question, so I'm going to handle one at a time. During hypnosis, when you're deepening a client, can you go so deep that they can't hear you or they lose you when they go deeper and deeper? Well, yeah, you can take them too deep, okay? In most sessions you probably do that. There's different what we call brainwave states, and if you haven't seen a brainwave scale, I'll leave a link in the bottom in the description of this video. I have actually a very in-depth brainwave scale that'll show you exactly where the client is at different parts of the session, and you can actually test them to find out where they are. But it starts out with, right now you're in the beta brainwave state, which is wide awake, where you're using your five senses, your conscious state. As soon as you close your eyes, you go into the alpha brainwave state. Okay, so I close my eyes and you're 80% in alpha, which is the beginning of the hypnotic state. Now, between alpha and theta, okay, there's well, we call it the alpha-theta bridge. There's a line, okay? When you cross that line, we'll call alpha level 2 and theta level 3. When you cross that line between 2 and 3, you go through what we call the amnesia state. Amnesia means you don't remember. Okay, so it's not so much that the client's not hearing you. Okay, they hear you consciously, or they might even be hearing you subconsciously, because in a session you never know if someone's listening to you or if they just let go and they're thinking about home or the beach or they're dreaming. Who knows what state they're in, okay, or what they're thinking of. So whether they're hearing you or not consciously, the subconscious always hears and always remembers. But the thing is, when you go through the amnesia state, why we call it amnesia is when they come out of hypnosis, once they've hit that state from that point forward, they don't remember what you said. Now, for years I did comedy hypnosis, and comedy hypnotists take people a lot deeper than you would probably in any session. I mean, we take them all the way to the deepest states, into the negative hallucinations. And you could even take them to the point where they open their eyes and they don't see the audience. You told them the audience disappeared, and they'll get so upset thinking that they're the only one left there. When you snap your fingers, they see the audience. It's amazing to see. But they're actually deep enough, standing, talking to you, interacting with you, to do an operation without feeling the pain. That's the level that they're at. But between level 3 and 4, okay, where you go from alpha to theta, the amnesia state, they're not going to remember. So I tell people, what's your name? You won't remember when they're at that level. I even give them a different name, and they believe that a different name's theirs. As a matter of fact, when they look at their wallet and they read their name on their driver's license, they don't believe it's them. So yes, they go to those levels. Don't worry about it, because when they come back, the suggestions are in their subconscious mind. Now, many times, if I was doing a hypnosis session and I wanted the client to remember, before I took them out of hypnosis, I'd say something like, on the count of 5, you'll be back to the here and now, and you will remember everything I said during the session. And in most cases, they will remember. If not, just remind them of it if you want to remind them of it, and it's fine. Now, don't worry about going deep. Everybody thinks deeper is better, deeper is better. It's really not. I find that most of the sessions I do, with the exception of pain and clinical type things, with most of the sessions I do, the lighter states of hypnosis work great, because you don't have to remind them later of what they heard. They remember it, because a lot of people, when they don't remember something, they can doubt that you even gave them the suggestion, and you don't want that doubt to start working right away. So I hope that helps that part. Now, the next question. What's your take on the difference between hypnosis and a trance state? Ooh, I hate the word trance. That's kind of like gives me chills in the back of my spine. I don't like the word trance because that brings people back to the medieval hypnosis, with the spirals and the Svengali type scary people. When people hear trance, they think they're going to be stuck like, with maybe their eyeballs having laser beams coming out, obeying. So I don't like to use the word trance. And that goes with the next question, which, can you clear up the theory of dissociated control? Okay, that's right along with trance. When you get to that state where you, I guess the daydreaming state, where you're there but not there, that's what they kind of call the trance. You're hypnotizing someone, you're talking to them, but they're not hearing you consciously because they're someplace else. This is not a trance. They're not stuck. If you snap your fingers, told them to open their eyes, they would open them immediately, okay? So to me, the true word trance, what they showed in the old days, the zombie type trance, is kind of a misnomer. I think a lot of people like to come up with all these definitions to make hypnosis seem so much more difficult or in-depth. It's actually a pretty simple thing. Okay, so if you look at the different levels of hypnosis, like I said, the brainwave states, that's all you need to know. But the trance is pretty much when you get to the point where they're not hearing you, or they seem like they're in this other level, this altered state. Just like a dissociated control, it's the same type thing. You've probably gone through it yourself if you've driven a car, let's say, to a location you drive quite often. So we call it street hypnosis. You're driving the car and all of a sudden you're driving on automatic pilot. Gee, how did I get here? Okay, so that was a disassociated type activity or control because you drove there subconsciously. Okay, we do a lot of things disassociated. How about brushing your teeth? You might be brushing your teeth and watching television at the same time because it's a good show and you want to brush your teeth to get ready for bed. So as you're watching the show, you're taking your toothbrush, you're putting a toothpaste on, you're putting water on it, you're brushing, and you're still looking. You're doing all these different things that have become habit, okay? But they're grouped habits. They're linked together. So it's a disassociated type thing while you're watching TV. I mean, I can go on and say, you know, there's a lot of different things that you do automatic, but basically look at it as they are subconscious activities. So when you get to that level, of the amnesia state, okay, just look at it. That's all it is the amnesia state. But it's not true amnesia, okay, because they just don't remember when they came back, but it's there. It's funny when I did the comedy hypnosis shows. I mean, I would get them to that state, the amnesia state, probably in the first 7 to 10 minutes of an hour show. At the end of the show, when I take them out of hypnosis, everybody will be applauding, and people will come up to me after the show and say, wow, that was only about 5 minutes. No, you were there for an hour, because there's also a time distortion. You remember all the time up to when you went through that amnesia, because not only do you go through amnesia, but you lose time. So it seemed like 5 minutes, but I asked them, well, do you remember when I had you say your name and you couldn't say it? Do you remember when I had you see the rabbit hopping around the audience? Or when the chair was chasing you and you were screaming because you thought it was possessed? It was moving by itself? And they go, no, I don't remember any of that. And then I would show them the video. They'd be shocked, but in a lot of cases, they would remember, oh, no, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I got up and screamed bonsai every 5 seconds or whenever you snap your fingers. And, it's kind of fun to watch a comedy show, and people say, oh, comedy show is just silliness. But you will learn so much about the different levels and what can really be done with hypnosis. It's very interesting what people will experience and what, the power of hypnosis when you go through the different levels and you see what can be done more and more one step on the other. So I hope that clears everything up for you. Don't worry about whether they go to a point where they don't hear you, because subconsciously they always hear you. So the subconscious mind always pays attention all the time. The conscious mind, I think I used to say you can only walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. It's limited in its abilities, but everything's there. So I hope that answered your question, George. And if any of you viewers have questions, please go ahead and send them in. It really helps to give us something new topics to be able to do videos on. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe right down there below. See that button? Subscribe. Oh, it's on one of those sides. And have a great day. Bye-bye.